Hey everybody, on a hike with Dr. Margot Roman and Dr. Maya Barak from Israel, visiting here and shadowing Dr. Roman in Hopkinton in her clinic. And we're on a hike with the dogs. We've got Allie and who else do we have?
We have Hannah and Vienna that are with us. And Hannah and Vienna are my fecal donors for 5-generation standard poodles that are eating organic and eating really healthy and living on healthy, environmental, cared for property. And
wow.
So, yeah, so they eat healthy, organic, raw, fresh food, a lot of plant-based materials, as well as some raw venison from hunting season. And we're here, you know, ironically going to talk about flea stuff, right?
Yep.
And we're in 2 feet of snow.
Yep.
So we're early, you know, we're like out there getting ready for the population to know that there's ways of helping your animal.
Well, ahead of our time.
Yeah,
like
way
always.
ahead of our time.
Like
Yeah,
always.
right. We're like a whole season early, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
So-
spring is right around the corner. Spring is in a couple weeks, the first official day of spring. And everyone always talks about, you know, what do you do for flea and ticks? How can you prevent naturally? What are the dangers and the side effects of using those chemical products? Frontline, Advantix, Brevecto, all those products that can have a lot of really nasty side effects, including seizures, death, endocrine disorders. I'm dealing now with a problem with Allie that's really lifelong, and it's just going to be management, called Plechner syndrome. It's an endocrine disorder, very serious. And I believe using those products was a huge contributing factor. And we're here to talk about how we can prevent naturally. What are the safe, non-toxic things we can do? And Dr. Roman, what do you have to say about it?
Well, you know, your gut is your immune system, okay? And when we put these chemicals on the animal and they lick them off, or they're in systemically, they have to be damaging the microbiome. If they're killing fleas and ticks, they got to be killing microbes. So it's not really a healthy thing for animals to be doing this to them 24/7. So, you know, if we as veterinarians were not seeing cancer in our patients and had only healthy animals, but the truth of the matter is we are seeing the largest amount of cancer we've ever seen in 45 years, because I've been practicing now 41 years, and I've never seen this amount of cancer. So where are we insulting them? And I think a big, huge part of it is the pesticides that we use. And in certain parts of the country, we have to reduce the amount of fleas and ticks and that are there, especially fleas in certain parts. In this part of the country, we have more of the tick problem, but we get this snow on the ground, which you guys can see as out here, and the snow hopefully reduces the amount of pests that are around. But as global warming changes and warmth comes up further up, and it used to be the Mason-Dixon line, and now it's really past that we have to worry about fleas and ticks year-round. Mm-hmm. Here we sometimes get ticks year-round when we don't have enough ice coverage like we have now. So this is nice. We don't have to pick ticks off the dogs mm-hmm. in this kind of weather.
Yep.
But tick season here in Massachusetts starts about April 10th, and we get a big surge as they come out of hibernation. And some of them haven't eaten in 2 years, and they're like standing on that blade of grass going, oh, I'm starving, I'm hungry. And then as soon as a dog walks by, they jump on the dog, and they get carried onto the dog, and they suck on the dog. And these products kill them in 24 hours.
Right. They kill. They don't prevent. They kill.
They kill them, right. So would your dog get Lyme in 4 hours, like some of the Lyme doctors feel that a tick attached for 4 hours on a human could transmit Lyme? So the idea that, oh, I'm putting this on the dog to prevent Lyme disease, I think there's a false thing that's happening. Mm-hmm. So if it's a false thing that's happening, then why are we putting these chemicals on the dog? You know, we use a bunch of natural preventatives. Obviously, if you are infested with fleas, you need to take care of that in a really good way and a safe way. And so first I have people, you know, doing flea combs and vacuuming, throwing your vacuum bag away. You can put some diatomaceous earth, you know, on the ground and suck that up and make sure and you have to keep vacuuming, because as they hatch out, they're going to multiply and multiply. You know, making sure your dog is clipped down if it's a long-haired dog, and you can get a flea comb through them. And when you use the flea comb, as you're combing it, you can, you know, get a little soapy water and you quickly, you know, put it right into the soapy water. and so that you drown those fleas. And you may have to use a natural, flea product, a natural soap that has different essential oils that will kill the fleas. But try not to use the heavy chemicals if you're trying to keep your dog's microbiome, both their skin microbiome and their intestinal microbiome. And they're really talking about the microbiome now. Even Dove commercial for Dove, body soap is saying, do you know your microbiome? How do you protect your microbiome? So it's out there in the major public, but we don't want to damage their microbiome because that's their immune system.
Right.
And so giving natural stuff is wonderful. So the things that we use for natural stuff is there's about 5 or 6 products that I sell at my hospital. One is called Flea Free. It's made by Green Hope Farm, and it's a combination of flower essences that you put a few drops in running water into their bowl, and you change it when you change their water, and it helps energetically defect fleas, mostly ticks, deflects ticks. The other thing we use is raw amber collars, and we get my dogs to come over here. We can see their raw amber collars. Not sure if they have them on now because they may have taken them off for the season. So, but raw amber is a Eastern European tradition that the amber, which is fossilized wood, the sap, tree sap, is supposedly a deflector of ticks. And the idea behind it is as the dog walks, the collar rubs on their hair, and that hair emits an energetic field like a tree. So they're not going to gravitate around this tree over here, they're not going to try to climb this tree, but if this was a dog, they would want to jump on the dog. So many of these ticks will climb up these branches and sit over here on this edge of this thing. Dog runs by and it jumps off on the tick, off the dog. The tick jumps off onto the dog. So having these, this a kind of deflector. The other thing I use is called Bug Zone, and it's looks like a piece of a credit card with a strip on it, which has a similar energetic field that is helping prevent, the ticks. And there's one for fleas and there's one for mosquitoes. Is any of this perfect? No, but neither is any of the commercial Frontline Revolution, all of those spot-ons.
Right.
And you're poisoning your dog at the same time you're putting it on him.
Exactly. And something I wanted to touch on is that, these chemical products are not 100% effective. I had a colleague who, who's using heartworm. I know this is a different topic, but using HeartGuard, and her dog still got heartworm. And she's giving it year round, even in the wintertime where the risk is basically zero. And so, I think that with using anything natural, I think you have to use, nothing's more potent than chemicals. But I think using anything natural, you have to kind of use a multitude of things in your toolbox, right? To be as effective.
Yeah, well, that's on the topic of heartworm. They're getting resistance to heartworm medication. And that's in a lot of the journals, and it's a concern because heartworm is not a good disease. But having animals on it year round is not healthy, especially if you live in the north. There's really no reason to keep them on all year round unless you're going to be going to Florida for the winter and your dog's going to be exposed to mosquitoes down there. But the heartworm preventative, Interceptor, HeartGuard, the ivermectins or the milbemycins were developed as antibiotics for the intestinal tract, and the side effects kill parasites. So once a month you're killing your dog's microbiome, and our business here is trying to, keep the microbiome really healthy.
Yep.
And that's really, part of it. So back to fleas again, we use a cedarwood oil. There's several companies that make nice cedarwood oils. There's Earth Animal, whoops, sliding down a hill.
Almost fell there.
Earth Animal, they make a bunch of essential oil sprays. There's a lot of wonderful companies that are out there making natural essential oils that are safe to use. Some cats can't tolerate the essential oils.
Right.
You really want to read your labels and see what their, restrictions that they're putting on them. And so the other thing that we use is the, going back to what prevents them from getting fleas. And I think if you have a healthier animal, fleas aren't really interested in sucking on them,
Right.
They like the weak ones so they can suck on them and nobody, gets them off. But ticks, they just want to jump on anything that walks by. If you
Right.
haven't eaten for 2 years and you come out of this thaw, you're going to want to eat whatever jumps by you.
Yep.
Do you have anything else to say? Do you have anything to say, Dr. Brewer?
Yeah, in Israel we have big problem with fleas. You have lots of fleas infestations, and it looks like whatever we are using, the fleas are just can overcome and get resistant to that, and so we're starting to use stronger things, and now everyone loves the oral drugs, right? The Brevecto and all that.
Yep.
We should definitely be worried about that, about the damage it does, and the fact that we cannot really reverse it for so many months.
Yep, exactly. And you know, I think it's really hard to reverse the damage. Just like antibiotics, you know, one round can completely disrupt the microbiome, and can take up to 1.5 years to restore, if ever. So it's a very, very fragile thing, and Dr. Roman has taught me that the gut is 85% of our immune system and is really the foundation of health. And when you go to feed your dog, you're not actually feeding your dog, you're feeding your dog's bacteria. You're feeding your dog's gut. And so in all these studies where, you know, dogs are living a long time and people are living a long time, they have a lot of diversity in their gut. Well, if you're giving flea and tick medications and you're giving heartworm preventative, it can disrupt the microbiome and can cause things like cancer and seizures and autoimmune issues, leaky gut, dysbiosis, endocrine disorders, and so on. And so it's a really, really dangerous thing. And what do you have to say to those pet parents out there who are using these products and not having issues? Are they just lucky, or?
Well, you know, sadly, 50% of dogs are going to get cancer now, and it used to never be that. You know, I've been practicing 41 years, and when I first started practicing, cancer was a rare thing that boxers got. And that was the only thing that, you know, that was like the big thing. Boxers got cancer. All other dogs didn't get cancer. And now it's like golden retrievers. Sadly, they're like amazing dogs, and 64% of them are getting cancer. That's nuts. That's craziness.
Yep.
That's crazy. That's 64% of Goldens. And it's, you know, they're just a very sensitive, intuitive breed, and they're picking this cancer up in a way that is scary and terrible. And, you know, and I'm not getting them at 12 and 14 years of age. We're getting them at 4 and 5 coming. And when I look at their medical records, and they've had, you know, 72 vaccinations or 60 vaccinations, you know, when you think of the distemper and the parvo and the parainfluenza and the flu and the Lyme and the lepto, you know, it is so rare. I mean, last time I had a case of distemper was when I did my internship at Angel in 1978. So, you know, the fact that we vaccinate every year for these is not preventing the disease. If they can establish antibodies and they have it, we should be satisfied that their immune system has understood what they have to do to protect them, and not keep over-vaccinating.
Yep.
These animals.
All right, well, we got to jump off here. My phone's going to die.
Show the dogs playing in the snow.
Yeah, come down
yeah.
and turn
That's
around
more
and watch
important
that.
than us talking.
Come, guys, come. Vienna, come. Vienna, come. Let's go this way.
All right, let's turn
wait,
around.
You can turn around
Oh,
and
here
see.
she comes.
You can see Trapper here.
There you go.
Here's our hike.
Oh, here's the cat. Here's Dr. Roman's cat, Trapper. She goes on hikes with her.
That's the most important for them, to live happy life.
Exactly. Yeah.
Healthy life.
Just as what cats and dogs want to do, just as nature intended.
And
you know?
us, by the way.
And us. It's very therapeutic. Here's Trapper. Hi, Trapper. All right, do we have a? Can we get a shot of their collars?
Oh, let's see if we got the collar.
Let's see if we can do it.
Have the collars. They may.
They have the
Might not be possible.
The tags.
They're having so much fun.
Oh. Okay.
All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna jump off. Do you guys have anything left to add before we?
Trapper has one on.
Trapper has one on. Okay.
He
Let's
has
see this
the-
amber collar.
He has the amber collar,
Yeah, the amber collar.
and he has also
And the bug
the.
zone.
The bug zone.
Yeah,
flea and tick
he's the
tag.
model guy.
Yes, he is. So cute.
Yeah.
You guys have anything left to add before we jump off?
Stay warm, guys, and
Be
you
good
know,
to your animals.
be good to your animals, and think about eating more plants for yourself.
All right, guys. You heard it. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.